Hello and welcome to my channel, and today we'll be playing the new modern hotness Esper Control. We'll analyze one of the matches I have played. Now, this video is sponsored by Card Market, the best platform to buy and sell paper, cards and magic related products. And so there will be a contest. I will be giving away 3 €10 coupons. But now, what's the stipulation? You have to tell me in the comments down below if you like the newest set, Time Spiral Remastered, what you think of the old frame, and what old frame cards you want to acquire, if any. If you are subbed to my channel and you like this video and you've commented that, I will randomly select 3 people from all the people who have commented. I will contact you and give €10 coupons potentially to spend on these cards. Now, the deck. Esper Control, so arguably the best Polish control player, TSPJendrek. You can look in the description. I've got links to his Twitter and Twitch. Created this shell, and now loads of control players have jumped on it, and so have I. I've changed it just a bit. I've added a path to exile because I wanted a 5th 1-mana removal spell. I've added a Cling to Dust. I think I've cut a Logic Knot, and that's probably it. I play 0 River of Tears in my version, and the sideboard's basically the biggest change. 2 Mentor for pressure, 2 Chaos Guiles, because just to round up the playset, to have 4 Chaos Guiles, Engineered Explosives, because you can't have my sideboard without Engineered Explosives, Ceremonious Rejection for the Trons and the E-Trons, Aether Gust, Mystical Dispute, Veto, and Verdict, just to have 2 Verdicts in the 75. That's basically the deck. Pure control, draw go, and I've had loads of fun with it. Now, we'll watch a match analysis of me playing against Red Black Shadow. See you in the match. Okay, so this is my opening hand and I'm on the play, and I think this is a keep. Why? Because I'm playing as Lurrus, right? And Lurrus typically is a creature deck. Could be Hammer, could be Shadow, could be Bogles. But I'm expecting Druid maybe, could be Burn even, Prowess. So basically creature deck. So I've got a removal spell on the play, and I've got some kind of, card advantage thing. So this is the hand which is not the best, but I keep, because I've got so many other hands which are the hands which I don't want to have, like with Jaces, with Teferi, with Counter Magic. And just because I have the removal spell on the play and a way to draw more cards, I think I like it. Additionally, I dislike mulliganing against discard spell decks, and the most popular discard spell deck is a Lurrus deck. So for all these reasons, I keep. I lead on Polluted Delta because it finds, actually Delta and Strand are equal. They are the same, because this fetches out the swamp, this fetches out a plains, but I've got both, so they're basically the same here. My opponent plays Blood Crypt and Thought Seizes away my Esper Charm, which I'm not very happy about. But let's see what I proceed to draw. I draw an island, so I'm certainly unhappy with the situation. Now, for now we remember that this island is something that they don't know about. My opponent plays Swift Spear, Bombard Couriers, and I have to make the decision of what to kill, if anything. I've decided to... I could have actually found a tapped land and then on the untap eliminate, but I think my hand really needs an action spell, and so I'm banking on drawing an action spell. And if that's the case, I want to use this mana now and have mana open for that action spell, which I've hopefully draw. So now I decided to kill Bombard Courier. There are 3 cards, so they will empty out their hand probably pretty quickly. I'm at 16, they attack for 1, so I'm actually okay with all of that. Now, I proceed to draw a Cryptic Command, which is not excellent, but it's okay. So now Flooded Strand will become probably a tapped blue land, and then I will play out basics and island last, just to preserve information. Now they attack just for 1, which I happily take. Now they don't have 2 cards in my hand, they just pass, so I fetch out a tapped land. in this deck you just want double white, and multiple black is more useful if you want to multi-spell. But at this point, if you have white, white, black, black, doesn't really matter. So, I untap and I drain Mana Leak. Okay, let's drag here, right? So we've got 3 cards which are unknown to them. So I just play a land and pass. Now I decide to play an island, probably just because I really wanted to have a lot of blue, but I don't think I should have. I should have played either of these because I've got so much blue here already. Now they play Unearth on Bombard Courier. Okay, so we've got a few options. We could let them resolve, tap their team draw. We could let it resolve, let them attack, because just does for 2, and then maybe end step bounce Swift Speed draw. We could Mana Leak it and just not Cryptic. So there are a few options here. Now, I think right now, not remembering this game, I would Mana Leak, because Cryptic is just much more valuable later in the game. So let's see what I do. I decide to Cryptic counter draw, okay, so just to cash in the Cryptic. Which is also actually, yeah, I like it better now, just thinking about it for a moment, because Mana Leak will always be live when they're on 2 lands. And that was a moment for me to cash in the Cryptic and just kind of use up this 4 mana. So I think that actually makes sense to use the more expensive spell earlier. Now, the situation isn't the best, but okay, now I played the land which so now they only know about the plains. But we're not in a good spot. So admittedly, we play, let's take a look how many. 25 lands, okay, we played 25 lands with cantrips, but still, this is plenty. Plenty of lands, I mean, to have drawn so many lands. So let's see what they continue up with. Okay, so we just Mana Leak that, and now let's see what we top deck. This is a key moment. Yeah, so at this point I remember that was like, yeah, magic happened. Yeah, classic magic happened. But sure, let's just continue. I played the planes, this hand is unknown. So a lot of people can think, sure, but like they don't know what you have. But it's irrelevant, because they will still play their spells. Like the only thing they've got going is Monastery Swift Spear. Obviously they will play more spells. They can't play around me, they can't play around stuff. They just play spells and see what happens. So I cannot ever bluff them like that. It's unfortunate because they still have got this here. Now, Archmage's Charm is an interesting thing because I could just draw 2, right? I could take this, or hold up a counterspell. So what would you do? Think for a moment. Now, what I think I did, or at least what I would do now, is draw 2 main phase. Because, I mean, that doesn't necessarily have to be my main phase, but I want to draw 2. Because I'm not winning just by taking Swift Speed and blocking Bombard Courier. I'm winning if I hit, let's take a look, I'm winning if I hit additional Archmage's Charm, a Kaya's Guile, an Esper Charm, a Supreme Verdict, a Planeswalker, a Snapcaster Mage, or a Cantrip, or a removal spell. So this is a play to win line, to draw 2 cards, which I did, and I draw Mana Leak Snapcaster, which I'm kind of happy about. So, Inquisition. So there are a few options there. I could just Mana Leak and just untap and just not do anything this combat. I could play Snapcaster, target, eliminate, and just go like block, kill, and make them take Mana Leak. I could just Mana Leak it and then untap Snap, draw 2, or Snap Cryptic, which has high upside. So I decide to go for Snapcaster Mage rather than for the high upside to preserve my life total. Which makes sense because if I just Mana Leak and they attack me for 3 already, God forbid they cast a spell, I could be, dead if they have a bolt. So they cast Dismember. Sure, so I will just eliminate the Swift Spear because now I want to preserve my life total because that's just more important. And if I draw a Snapcaster Mage, so now I could play Snapcaster, draw 2, right? Or I could play Snapcaster, make them discard 2. Or I could play Snapcaster Cryptic. These are all valid options. So I decide to pass the turn and just ambush it in combat. So I'm ambushing it, targeting Archmage's Charm, because if they play a spell, I can just counter it if it's relevant enough, but if it's not, to be fair, I will probably drain 2 anyways, just drain 2 anyways, because I've got so much mana, I need to get more traction, more spells, more things going. So now, let's see what they decide to do. Team Battle Rage. So now I can let it resolve, right? I can draw 2, I can counter it, I can take Bomat Courier. And now again, I mean, actually, I think that's the good thing about the deck. It's so modal, has so many lines. All these lines could be fine, I think. So taking it is probably the most conservative. I think drawing 2 is the highest upside. I would probably draw 2 because we just need to start doing things, you know. But actually I decided to be very conservative. And my opponent proceeds to concede, so I assumed their hand was trash because probably they didn't have the 3rd land even and had the Lurus. Which is surprising because I didn't feel confident with that. I mean, to be fair, they're dead in 3 attacks. But I think drawing 2 is also a very, very strong contender for the best play there. So actually, even though we flooded very badly, just Archmage's Charm, a play to win line, draw 2, right? Then some life total preservation. I'm also surprised my opponent didn't crack the bauble, just to see what they have on top, to decide if they want to really concede or not. But I'll take it. See you game 2. Sideboarding. So let's see how I sideboarded. I didn't bring in Mentor, Aether Gust, because I've got so much more efficient stuff and I'm really afraid of the black stuff. I cut Force of Negation, which is the classic cut against this card decks, and I cut Esper Charm, which is just doesn't accomplish much because it's just drawing 2 is not enough. Discarding 2, probably they've got empty hand, and killing an enchantment isn't really relevant. So I brought in the Verdict, the Kaya's Guiles, and Engineered Explosives, right? So just mass removal spells. So I look at this hand, and what would you do? So for me, it's a snap mulligan, because I'm on the draw, I have no removal spells. This hand, if it top decks removal spells, is bad, because it just can't even cast them. So for me, it's a snap mulligan. I mulligan. Now this hand is trash, because it doesn't accomplish anything, and you could keep or you could mulligan. You could keep it and just hope you have a good draw at the top, because one push basically makes this hand great. Now actually I decide to mulligan again, because that previous hand just wasn't good really. Now this hand is again trash. It's basically my 7, but now it's a 5. But I can't go to 4, so I just keep. So what I bottom is so basically I decide to keep 3 land mana leak Jace, because the way I win this game is if I get lucky, obviously, but if I just manage to not die and stick my Jace. So that's my strategy, basically, which I'm doubtful is going to work. My opponent leads with Sunbaked Canyon, which makes me think they've got either a 1-lander with a Canyon land, or a multi-lander just with Canyon lands. Now, you could say that maybe that's not the case because they're a shadow deck, which could also be the case. But normally, like against decks like elves or just any non-shadow Boggles, any non-shadow deck, if they lead with a pain land, I tend to think it's a 1-lander or a multi-lander with pain lands. Okay, I draw a land, so a draw I'm both happy and unhappy with, because I'd rather have drawn a removal spell, but that's fine. Okay, so let's just pass, hold up mana leak. Let's see what they do. They draw, they cast Bomat Courier. Okay. So they've got a double Bomat draw on the play. So I'm really doubtful now. And I draw a land, which is crap. Okay, so let's play that and pass and just hope I can mana leak anything there. Okay, they might be casting something, so that's great. Or maybe they are not, so let's see what's going to happen. They double Bomat, already 5 cards under Bomat. Bolt me, sure. Okay, that is a mana leak target. So what I'm hoping to draw is preferably Engineered Explosives at this point, right? A Kaya's Guile. Okay, so I've got Kaya's Guile. So the graveyard is not relevant. What I could do is in combat, make them sack, create a... just to show you what it does. It either makes them sacrifice a creature, exile all cards from their graveyard, create a spirit, or gain 4. So while gain 4 is obviously tempting, I think the best play is to make them sack one of the Bomats and then block the other one with the spirit. And if we trade, but we probably don't because they will pop it. And if that's the case, sure, because I will just have the spirit to just block anything else. And if that's the case, I will have a spirit. They won't have Bomats. and I will untap play Jace. So I will be able to, let's say, bounce the threat which they would play the next turn, and have the blocker in Spirit and potentially untap with Jace. This is basically my play to win scenario, which might potentially happen. So my opponent plays a Inquisition, which is fine. I will do exactly what I intended to do anyways. And they just sacrifice Bomat, which I think is a punt. I don't know if they know this interaction, but you can hold priority, sack one Bomat, like pay red, sack a Bomat, have this put cards into hand ability on the stack, and respond to it again with your priority held by sacrificing the other one, doing the same thing. And then they both resolve, right? So you have paid the cost twice of emptying out your hand, and then you let both effects resolve at the same time, so you draw 3 and 4, right? So you would have 7 cards in hand, which my opponent doesn't do. Maybe they don't know the trick. They attack in, I block, they obviously pop. So I assume they know how Bomat works, but not how 2 Bomats work. Now they kill the Spirit, which couldn't be less relevant. Now this... but this is the big thing. Now play Jace. Do I brainstorm? Do I plus? So I think the safe play is to plus, because they don't have a lot of ways to kill a Planeswalker outside of a Bolt. So I can just insulate myself against the Bolt, right? And actually by brainstorming, also I am immune to any discard spell. So I just thought this is exactly what I do. I see Scourge of the Skyclaves. I could leave it on top, because Jace is literally an answer, but I've got 3 more cards in hand. So I draw the bottom it, because I will still need to get rid of a threat anyways at some point. Might as well do it now. So they float black, they crack a something, they play a Kroxa, which can be escaped, which is bad news for me. And I draw a land, which is bad news for me. So brainstorm now, obviously. Oh, that's bad news for me, isn't it? So I put 2 lands back. I play Castle Oh no, Skura, no. So what I could have done is play Castle Vantress and just scryed and just put these 2 lands on the bottom, right? Because I would play Vantress, I would scry these 2 lands to the bottom. They would discard the Watery Grave to Kroxa, untap, have the push already for the Kroxa, and have a fresh brainstorm. So I really dislike that. They bolt my Jace, and God forbid they kill the Jace. Oh, they opt against Kroxoing. So obviously I will just push Swift Spear, have an empty Thoughtseize, and untap with Jace. That's great. Okay, so we're probably good to go. I assume now I'm very much ahead. I brainstorm. Oh, mother... okay, so let's bottom 2 lands. Play Castle. Yes, very good. And now do exactly the same thing which I intended to do in the previous turn. So now they play a Thoughtseize. I cannot eliminate. They take Lurus to hand. So for some reason they're really hesitant to croak stuff. I don't know why, but now I can just Castle, okay, double land, double bottom. Now I have a draw step plus 3 cards from Jace. It's 4. I must now hit something good, right? Draw step. Okay, so now you can opt before or after brainstorm. So now the upside of doing it after the brainstorm is that if I put back, let's say, land, I can cast opt, put one of them to the bottom, redraw the other one, and now I've got a clear top. That's the upside. The upside of doing it pre-Jace is that I can cast opt now, dig deep already, and then draw 3 fresh. Right? So which basically digs me 5 deep. If I go opt, bottom, draw 3. So I tend to opt first in such spots, which I do. Explosives. So I could take it because it deals with Kroxa. Now the thing is, whether I have or I don't have better draws, and I think I do. I've got 3 Guiles to draw into. I've got 4 snaps, which recast the Kaya's Guile. I've got Teferi, 5 mana Teferi, which already I think makes it worth it. I've got all these counter spells like Cryptic, like even mana leaking Kroxa is just very good. And I go on to draw Kaya's Guile. I brainstorm. Ooh. So I've got 5 mana. I haven't drawn a land yet. So I can go bottom, playing land, play Teferi, draw, and tap Kaya's Guile. Or this way, because I'm redrawing a land anyway with Teferi, and I decide to have the fetch land there, so I can shuffle away that Watery Grave. Now I proceed to untap. Now I cast Kaya's Guile, probably gain for Exile Graveyard, yeah, because it deals with Kroxa, and now basically out of nowhere, right? Like we had this Bowman turn. We were in really bad shape, but then Kaya's Guile, you know, we kept a five card hand, so it was a win out of 5 from 5 cards, which is surprising to say the least. Opponent messed up with the Bowmat and not activating Kroxa earlier, but they just maybe for some reason, which I don't know, opted to play other spells than one Kroxa. Maybe they were afraid of a counter spell, which would nullify the whole turn, so they wanted to multi-spell. But still, I got a W there, and yes, thank you very much for watching. The deck is super sweet. I really suggest you check out Esper Control, and I highly suggest you comment down on this video and tell me what you think of Time Spiral Remastered and the old frame, because I really want to give you that sweet voucher coupon €10 thingy. I'm most excited for, I think, Remand and potentially Path to Exile. And actually, off the top of my head right now, I don't remember what else. I didn't get as much as I wanted. I really wanted to get Snapcaster Mage, Cryptic Command, Engineered Explosives, but I won't complain. I will get the Path. I will get the Remand. So thank you very much for watching again. Please remember to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Check out Card Market, the best platform to buy and sell your paper cards and Magic-related products on. And as always, hold my hand, let's pass the turn together, and see you next time. Cheers.